An iconic event comes to an iconic venue. Open Day 2020 takes place on the 26th and 27th of March here at the ETW Park. This is On the Farm. In this edition of On the Farm, we took the opportunity to speak to two very important individuals who have key responsibilities in ensuring that Open Day 2020 is a success. We spoke to Chief Extension Officer Steve Reed. Steve Reed is the Chief Extension Officer within the Department of Agriculture. Steve, agriculture's grand showcase is set for this month, 26 and 27. Tell us how plans are going.
Well, from our reports and the different divisions, plans is smoothly going in the right direction. Matter of fact, some of the divisions are totally prepared and looking forward to the exhibition.
Let's talk about the exhibition in terms of this year's theme. What is the theme for this year's Open Day, and particularly why that theme?
Well, basically, the theme is normally picked based on the situation that exists within the Federation each year. And we know that we have had issues with the climate. We have had issues in the past with rainfall patterns. As we know, normally January never have been that rainy, and we have seen excess rain in the January month of 2020. So our theme is focused around how agriculture can still be productive under changing climatic conditions. As a result, you'll be able to see areas such as the Extension Division that will be displaying different techniques and methods of how one can produce under the changing in the climatic conditions, not only for the large-scale farmers, but also for backyard gardeners, for those persons who can only produce maybe on their porch, on their driveway, and we try to cater to everyone so that everyone can take part in agriculture, in being self-sufficient.
Within the context of the theme, there is a particular area that speaks to empowering women within agriculture. You want to tell us about how that fits into the mold of the department?
Well, as we know, based on all the information that has come to me, we know that women make up a significant portion of the population, and more so the mothers. Within the department and outside of the department, women are the caretakers, and health is very important. So when we focus on local production and eating healthy, the woman is the one who normally will be pushing such an agenda. So we know eating local is the best thing because it's low in pesticide residue. You know the farmers that produce it, you know it's grown here on our local soil, and so you have full confidence in the food. So the women normally would select local produce in order to make sure that their families thrive, especially the children. I must say at this time, I know that most of the primary and preschool have feeding programs, and we at the Department of Agriculture, from the agro-processing aspect, from the abattoir and from the marketing divisions, supply quite a bit of produce to the school feeding programs. And we realize that when the kids go home, they say what they eat, and now the parents, especially the mothers, are the one who would facilitate and continue to give them the same sort of menus that they are being given in school.
Let us talk about what is being produced and what would be ready for Open Day 2020. I know earlier we would have had the opportunity to tell the public and to sell to the public some pumpkins and some onions. What else are we gearing up for Open Day?
First, I must be truthful and tell you, if I tell you the listing of stuff that we'll have to offer to the general public coming this open day, I might be here all day. But I will summarize and see what I could give a few highlights. Of course, the onions and pumpkins, also carrots, beet, watermelon, cabbage, sweet pepper, both colored and some green, and a range of the norm of vegetables. And I'm not going to only emphasize at this moment what the department would have for sale. Open day is supposed to open to the general public. And as the Chief Extension Officer, my focus is mainly pushing this year for the farmers. So I will, and I'm proud to tell you that given the rainfall that we have had in January, the farmers are looking lovely. The farmers are ready. There was a shortage of sweet potato a few weeks back. I know farmers have started harvesting sweet potato. I know they have the tomatoes. There are an abundance of tomatoes available from farmers. Not the department, just farmers. The farmers also have pumpkin. And normally, I've noticed over the years that farmers plant specifically for the crops to climax to be harvested around the open day period, just to make sure that they have enough to satisfy the demands that are placed on them for these 2 days to come.
So the variance of climate change has allowed for a rebound, so to speak, for Open Day 2020. Of course, we know after the hurricanes of 2017, production in some areas wasn't as high. How are we looking in terms, is there an increase? Is there an increase in number, an increase in variety of products?
While I must, at this stage, be grateful that most of our farmers here in Nevis are, one, well educated and smart, and they have been shifting towards the more of a business oriented than just farming for a hobby. As a result, they have accepted the new technologies in order to produce increased production under the changes in the climate. And as a result, we can see the fruits coming to bear, such as using drip irrigation, mulch, fertigator units, manure incorporated in the soil before they plant, a range of technology. Now, I've mentioned as yet the use of shade house and greenhouses. Some individuals have been creative. Instead of purchasing these expensive units, have gone to the hardware stores, purchase material, and make their little makeshift at home to, one, beat the climate change, and two, to protect them from pests and insects such as the worms and the grasshoppers and most of all the monkeys.
Now let us go a little bit into a little housekeeping matter in terms of Open Day 2020. Let us talk entrance fee. Let us talk, is there any new initiatives being thought of, being implemented for Open Day? A little bit of what the general public can expect. I know we are here at ETW for a second year running, right?
Yes. Based on all the results that came to us, what we did last year was successful, and we don't want to change much. So all fees from the financial controller should be the same. No, we had introduced some time back the wristbands that individuals, when they purchase their ticket and entrance, they have the wristband for the whole day, so they can go and come as they wish. Parking, we have arranged the parking as usual on the opposite side in the school grounds villa, as far over to the bath spring, the hot spring, and of course, you know, the adjacent roads around the area. We also have the police to assist. Vendors who are on the inside would have their banners as well. They would also have a certain amount of banners for each of their workers, so that they can have ease of going and coming. But from our reports, the prices to enter the grounds will remain the same. I cannot recall the exact price at this moment, right? Because there are so many figures running around in my head, you know. But everything would be standardized as to last year. What I could tell you is that we'll have entertainment as usual. I have had confirmation of bands from St. Kitts. I have confirmations of bands from Statia. I have confirmations of local new and upcoming bands. You realize I ain't mentioning the names.
Yes.
So I want you to come out, and maybe at a closer date, I'll let it out. But I'm just telling you, there will be a range of entertainment to attract you. So while you're dying, because we have up to, I think, around 13 food vendors, local food produced with local produce. All right. So while you're dying, and mingle with your friends and eat, we'll have entertainment for all different age groups. Where the kids can have their fun, whether it's around the bouncing castle, the individuals who are into plants or animals and they display and have the wow effect, and those who just want to socialize, and those of course who come for the entertainment. So we got you covered.
That was Steve Reed, the Chief Extension Officer within the Department of Agriculture, who gave us his perspective on how the preparations are going from the farmers' end, from the extension's end for Open Day 2020. In the upcoming clip, we spoke with the Director of Agriculture, who gave us a look at the logistics for Open Day 2020 and an insight into what the department is going to do in support of good hygiene as it relates to COVID-19.
Agriculture, sustaining families, building economies.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the Ministry of Education.
Randy, tell us about probably the most difficult end of Open Day 2020 logistics. How are things moving along in terms of getting the facility ready, looking as grand as it normally does for Open Day?
Mr. Well, the department, we are quite on target. We had our last Open Day meeting yesterday as it relates to the various divisions. And basically, everyone is ready. If Open Day was to keep tomorrow morning, the entire department, we are all ready for the agricultural Open Day. As it relates to here on the grounds, we already had 1 or 2 walkthroughs on the grounds as it relates to the layout. The layout as this year would be similar to that of last year. We're going to make 1 or 2 slight changes, but the layout will be similar. We understand that the ground is very big, and this came from comments from last year. So we're going to continue to put things in place to ensure that our patrons who are coming to the Open Day do have that experience that we continue to promote at the department. As it relates to entries, we have the main gate at the bottom of the park as one point of entry. We have the top gate next to the cultural village as another entry. The small gate on the high school road, that's another entry, and the large gate here would be exiting the park. No vehicles will be allowed on the grounds, and we continue to ask our persons to be on time and to be in position by 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Let's talk about numbers. What total are we looking at in terms of booths, not just from the department, but from vendors, whether food vendors or allied partners?
Well, basically, we have persons who would have taken part last year. We had almost 70 persons taking part last year, and those persons would have confirmed that they would return. We have one or two vendors who are willing to expand this year, one or two who will be expanding this year. We have one or two of our farmers who would have experienced some challenges as it relates to monkeys, so one or two farmers would reduce their sizes. But overall, we'll have a little bit more vendors than we had last year. We have some bigger groups this year as it relates to one of our ally agencies would have a much larger group than they would have had over the previous years. So the department, again, as I say, we are ready. We believe all the persons who are taking part is ready, and we're just waiting for the day and our patrons to come and support.
Of course, we are in the current environment where COVID-19 or the coronavirus continues to be the hot button topic, not just around the world but around the region as well. As is the case, preparation is key, and I know the department is setting themselves to ensure that the promoted practices that are being placed in the media, that we are well in line with that come open day.
Well, the COVID-19 is not something that we will take lightly. It's as I indicated, it's through the media, and the department would have taken a bold step where we would have already engaged some of the health officials as it relates to what can the department do to ensure the safety of our people. We would have spoken to health promotion in terms of continue the promotion of the proper and appropriate method of washing hands. We would have also spoken to the facility manager, sports, in terms of we're going to be establishing some hand sanitizing machines within the bathrooms. And one of the other things that we also said that we're going to do this year is that we're going to have some stations around the grounds, hand sanitizing stations around the grounds, using the alcohol-based hand sanitizer. So we're just asking our persons to make use of them, do not destroy them once you see them, but make use of them. There will be on the grounds in strategic areas like the food areas, the children's section, the vegetable section, and so forth. So we're just asking persons to continue to be safe, continue to observe the methods that and the measures that the department is putting in place to ensure the safety of our public.
I want to go back briefly to last year. I know we had an unfortunate incident to climax our last open day. What are we doing in terms of increasing and ensuring our security, and not just that, but to ensure that our patrons understand that this is a family-oriented activity and we expect them to behave themselves?
Well, the agricultural open, the agricultural exhibition, it's an exhibition that we cater for all, from young, seniors, all, family-oriented, and we're asking persons to come and just enjoy themselves. We're not promoting violence or anything of such. But we, again, based on last year, we would have had a meeting with the police already as it relates to some additional security that we will be having on the premises. Monday, we also will have a walkthrough with the security forces as additional measures will be put in place just to ensure the safety of people. But one of the things that I want the general public to understand is that the police would only be mobilized if persons actually come in to cause trouble.
Exactly.
Right? So we just asking persons to come, have a good time, support all of the establishments that are here, and you continue to make open day as big as it is and better. And we can't do it without you. We can't do it without your support.
I know we are going to have more conversations as we get closer to open day, but I want to give you this early opportunity to invite the division public, the Kitchen public, the station public, however close or far they are, to come and visit us for Open Day 2020.
Well, the department will continue to send out a call to persons to continue to support the Open Day. You, the general public, you made history last year, where for the first time the Open Day saw well over 5,000 persons coming through the gate. And again, we couldn't do it without your support. This year, we want to push to at least 6,000 persons and more coming through the gates. As I said, it's a bigger event. There are a number of activities that will keep you occupied. We continue to ask our brothers from St. Kitts to come over and support the activity also. We have a large contingency this year coming from Statia, would have already confirmed. And the difference of what they're doing this year, what they would have indicated, rather than just coming for the day, they're actually coming and overnighting and staying until this Saturday. So the department itself, we actually contributing to the tourism sector also significantly. We continue to work with the Ministry of Tourism. We'll have passports available for sales within the hotels. And basically, you buy those passports and you're able to walk through the grounds and sample as much as you can. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Randy. As Randy said, Open Day 2020 is practically set and ready for you, our patrons. We expect you to come in your large numbers. He wants to get to 6,000. We're hoping that more of you will come and enjoy what is in store for you for Open Day 2020. Remember, it takes place on the 26th and 27th here at the ETW Park. Entrance fees are minimal. Food and vegetables locally produced are also going to be on sale. Reasonable prices, excellent prices, and so we hope to see you here. And until then, I am Rohan Isles, and I'll see you on the farm.